Hey, seventh graders. So hopefully at this time you have finished your study guide on your own and you are now watching my video only to check your answers. So if you don't try it on your own, watching me work out these for you is not going to really help you as much. So go back and do that if you haven't yet finished the study guide by yourself first. All right, so number one, the Ngo family rented a jet ski for $70 per day plus a one-time insurance fee of $15. Which expression goes with this? Well, we have $70 times the number of days. We don't know how many days, but we do know they paid a one-time fee of $15. So it's going to be letter B, and N represents the number of days. Number two, we're going to simplify the expression. So let's go ahead and rewrite 5x plus 3. And then we're going to distribute this whole term by everything in the parentheses. So negative 2 times 2x is negative 4x. And negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. And now we're going to combine like terms. So 5x minus 4x is 1x. And 1 times x is just x. And 8 plus 3 is positive 11. X plus 11. Number 3, which expression is equivalent to the expression below? Well, let's go ahead and we can simplify this expression. So negative 10x plus 6x, these are like terms. That would be negative 4x. And then we have negative 1y combined with negative 3y. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4y. So it looks like D is the right answer. All right. Number 4. Solve the inequality. So negative 2 times x, the opposite of times negative 2 is dividing by negative 2. And whenever you divide by a negative or multiply by a negative, you always have to flip that inequality sign. So we're going to flip it to a greater than. Negative 14 divided by negative 2 is positive 7. So on our number line, we could put 7 anywhere on the line, really. We are going to keep an open circle because it doesn't say is greater than or equal to. And since our variable's on the left side of the inequality sign, our inequality sign looks like our arrow. Number 5, if Susan sold 6 times as many raffle tickets as Jill, and she sold 36 raffle tickets in all, which expression could be used to find X if X is the number of tickets Jill sold? Well, Jill sold X number of tickets, and Susan sold 6 times this number. So 6 times X is 6X, and we know that that actually is equal to 36. So C is the best answer. Number 6, a large bag of sand weighs 70 pounds. The bag weighs 5 pounds less than the weight of 4 small boxes of sand. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. 5 pounds less than. So that less than, remember, that's the expression where you throw it at the end. All right, so if each small box weighs W, so we're going to have the weight of 4 small boxes. There's the weight of 4 small boxes, whatever the weight is, times 4. 5 less than that, minus 5, is equal to, we know that the bag actually weighs 70 pounds. So this is our expression. So D, once again, is the best answer. All right, number 7, we're going to solve all of these equations and inequalities. So number 7, the opposite of plus 8, we're going to add 8 to both sides. So then we have 2x is equal to 18. And then to get 2 times x, the opposite of that is divided by x. So x is equal to 9. And of course, if you throw it in there, check your answer, you will know that 9 is the right solution. Number 8, we want this x by itself. So we're going to get rid of plus 6 by subtracting 6 from both sides. So we have 12x is equal to negative 6 combined with negative 6 is negative 12. Now we're going to get rid of times 12 by dividing both sides by 12. And our final answer is x is equal to negative 12 divided by positive 12 is negative 1. And we can throw that in the original equation and know that our answer is correct. So 12 times negative 1 is negative 12. And does negative 12 plus 6 equal negative 6? It does. We're right. Number 9, we want x by itself. So we're going to get rid of plus 4 by subtracting 4 from both sides of the inequality. So we bring down negative 3x is greater than or equal to negative 9. And then we got to get rid of times negative 3. The opposite of multiplying by negative 3, we're going to divide both sides by negative 3. Those are gone. We just divided by a negative, which means we flip our inequality sign. And a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So our final answer is x is less than or equal to 3. Number 10, we want n by itself. So we're going to get rid of minus 11 by adding 11 to both sides. So we have n divided by 7 is equal to 20. Yep, and then the opposite of dividing by 7, we're actually going to multiply both sides of the equal sign by 7. So n is equal to 140. So if you plug in 140, we get 20, and 20 minus 11 is 9. Number 11, we're going to get rid of minus 13 by adding 13 to both sides of the inequality. So we have 5x is less than, what would that be, 30. The opposite of times 5, we're dividing by 5. We're dividing by a negative number, so we bring our inequality down exactly the way it's written, and our answer is x is less than 6. Number 11a, it says Jill bought 4 gifts for her friends that each cost the same amount. She also bought wrapping paper for $12. In total, she spent 40 as our total, so something equals 40. Let x represent the price of each gift. So we know she bought 4 gifts. So if we had 4 gifts that cost the same, we would multiply 4 times the price of each gift. But we also know that she spent $12 on wrapping paper. And so this is our this is our equation. This is the equation that represents the scenario. And so now to figure out what each gift costs, we would solve it by subtracting 12 from both sides. And we'd have 4x is equal to 28. And the opposite of times 4, when we divide both sides by 4, we find out that the price of each gift is $7. All right, number 7, 3 students solved 2x plus 8 equals negative 10. One of them solved it correctly. So the first thing we would do is subtract 8 from both sides, which this person did not do. This person added unlike terms. You can't do that. The first thing this person did was divide by 2. You can't get rid of the 2 until you deal with the plus 8. So this is also wrong. So they subtracted 8 from both sides. Looks good. So we bring down our 2x equals negative 10 combined with negative 8 is negative 18. And then the next step would be divide both sides by 2. And the final answer is negative 9. This person did a good job. All right, number 13, we are going to evaluate. We're going to substitute 1.5 for n. So we're going to multiply 7 times 1.5 minus 3 times negative 2 plus 11 times 1.5 minus 3 times 1.5. Make sure that all those substitutions go in parentheses. Minus 2 times negative 2. And then in my little handy dandy calculator. Oh, and you know what would have been easier if I would have just combined like terms. So 7n plus 11n minus 3n. What would that be? So that would be 18. So I'd have 15n. And then we have negative 3m combined with negative 2m. Negative 3 combined with negative 2 is negative 5m. That would be so much shorter, wouldn't it? So then all we're doing is multiplying 15 times 1.5. Oops. Minus 5 times negative 2. Instead of trying to put all that in the calculator, let's just put this in our calculator. So 15 times 1.5 minus 5 times negative 2, and I got 32.5. If I miss any of these, guys, send me a note. I hope I didn't, but I could. All right, number 14. Lewis has saved $265. He was able to save an additional $37 per week. I bet there's a variable that goes with that per week from his job. He wants to save enough money to have at least $450. So if you want at least $450, that means you want $450 or more. So the amount of money you want can be greater than or equal to $450, okay? However much money, this represents all the money you're going to save because you want at least, you want that amount to be more than or equal to $450. So he's already got $265. That's good. Plus, he wants to save $37 times the number of weeks, which we don't know. So they're going to let that actually be a W. And so that is our inequality. So at least means greater than or equal to. So that would be B. The reason A is not right is because they combine these unlike terms, which you are not allowed to do. And what's wrong with this one? Oh, this one only says he wants to say more than, but this says at least. So that's why D is wrong. The inequality is not correct. All right, so we're going to graph it. Oh, so we have to solve it to graph it. All right, so we're going to subtract 265. So we have 37 times the number of weeks is greater than or equal to 450 minus 265 is equal to 185. And then we're going to divide both sides by 37. So 185 divided by 37 is 5. So the number of weeks must be greater than or equal to 5. So he's got to save money for 5 weeks or more. So if we graph that, we're going to fill that circle in, and then our arrow is going to point to the right. Solve the graph of the solution set and explain how your graph supports the solution. So it's filled in because if he saves money for 5 weeks, he'll have $450. And since he wanted that or more, if he saves money for 6 weeks or 7 weeks or 8 weeks, he would have more than $450. All right, number 15. I think this is the last one. For a field trip, 4 students rode in cars and the rest filled 9 buses. There were a total of 472 students. So we have the equation. So we have 9x plus 4 equals 492. That looks right. So the question is, what does the x actually represent? Does it represent the number of buses? No, because we know that. Does it represent how many students rode in cars? No, because we already know that. What do we not know? We do not know how many buses went on the field trip. No, that's not true. We do know that. We know that 9 buses went. What we don't know is how many students were on each of the 9 buses. So what does the X represent? The X represents the number of students on each bus. On each of the 9 buses, each bus, the number of students, because that's what we don't know in that scenario. All right, guys, so your test is Monday. I know I don't like to give tests on Monday, but our deadline is Tuesday and we don't meet Tuesday, so I have to do it on Monday. So you guys come to class on Monday prepared to take your test. All right. If you have any questions about the study guide or anything else, let me know. I hope y'all have a great weekend, and I will see you next on Monday.